Welcome to Local Wellness, your number one source to health, sports, and nutrition in Central Texas. Today, we would like to welcome Tammy Stewart, a certified health coach right here in Georgetown, Texas. Hello, Tammy.
Morning. It's a beautiful morning here in Georgetown. The sun is kind of behind the clouds just a little bit, but we love living in Georgetown.
Yes, and the breeze is absolutely perfect outside.
It was great. It was great
Yes.
out walking.
Yes, good. How many miles did you walk?
I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, but then I got in the sauna. And so, I'm still really hot. It was nice outside, but my sauna was hot, which is
Yes.
what you want your sauna to be.
Right. Sweat, get it out.
Yes, yep, detox.
Detox. So you are a certified health coach.
Yes.
I looked up a little bit about that, and it was kind of vague when you look online. It
It is.
says a mentor who helps to support your health and create a healthier version of yourself. What really do you do as a certified health coach?
I got my certified health coach certification after I became a certified cellular detoxification specialist. Now, see, people understand certified health coach, that makes sense. Certified cellular detoxification specialist 14 years ago, nobody knew what that was. And so I had to do something that people could understand. So my specialty is cellular health. Now, as a health coach, it's very common to focus on environment and exercise and nutrition. And we all have to eat a healthy diet. The thing I love to say about diet is food by God for the body by God. That's the first thing. If you just learned one thing about diet, that's the most important thing. The second thing we teach is diet variation. Ketosis is so popular right now. Fasting is popular, but those are not the only two options. So as a health coach, a lot of people can teach you that, and that is necessary for health. As a cellular detoxification specialist, we take it a step farther and talk about detoxifying the cell, which is completely different. So those are my two focuses.
Okay, wonderful. You kind of came about being a certified health coach because you stumbled upon, as a mom, things that were happening in your family,
Right.
That you just didn't quite understand, and you went for help with medical personnel,
Right.
and still didn't quite get your answers. And I think this is part of what really gives you the passion for what you do, and where people can really relate in their own lives. Can you give us a kind of a storyline behind your family and what you guys dealt with, and where that took you down your path?
Yes, and I think so many times when someone's a little bit outside the mainstream, it was something personal. There was a personal experience that made that happen. The first little seed that was planted in my heart was as a child when my grandmother got Alzheimer's. I loved my grandmother. We had a great relationship. We were really close, and we lost her. She was in the nursing home 10 years. So that was the first thing that showed me the value of investing in health. And we thought we were healthy. I was healthier than all my friends. But then our son, he was a junior in high school, started to feel depressed. And he came to us. Thank God he came to us, because he's the quiet one. He tends to suffer silently. But he came to us and said, "Mom, I'm feeling depressed." So we prayed about that, which is the most important thing. It's always the first thing we should do.
Right.
And he came back to us several months later and said, I still feel depressed. And so we did. The only thing we need to do was take him to the doctor. And the doctor did the only thing the doctor can do. Your doctor has to stay inside the standard of care box. He can run a test. He can give you a diagnosis based on that test. He can give you drugs or surgery. Those are pretty much his only tools. He can say, go eat the right diet, but that's outside of his time commitment. So the doctor gave him medicine. He felt a little better. We went back the next month. He gave him a little more medicine. And the whole time I'm screaming at our primary care physician, was our chiropractor, and he was our neighbor. So I felt comfortable. I literally grabbed his face in my hand and said, why is this happening? Because the mad mama cow mom in me was coming out. I grew up on a ranch. And so if any of you have ever seen a mad mama cow, when I said those words, that came right to mind, and you knew you knew the kind of power behind what I was feeling, because we had taken the calf into the back of the pickup and we're treating the calf, and the calf was crying. And I thought that mad mama cow was going to come eat us. And that's how I felt, because the doctors are not trained, equipped, or really this is not their job to answer the question why. But Deborah, no matter what the problem is, don't we have to find the cause of the problem to solve the problem?
Yes, really get down to what is the root of the cause, not just throw something out there that's going to kind of cover it up and hope it goes away.
Sure. If the light comes on your car dash, you don't cover it with black tape. You figure out what's the cause. So our chiropractor said, I've been going to toxicity classes with Dr. Daniel Pompa, who I believe is the nation's leading expert in cellular toxicity. We've been doing this longer. It's more popular now, but we've been doing it since before it was popular. And he said, I've been watching your whole family, and I think there's a toxicity problem somewhere. So long story short, I knew a mold specialist, and he said, Tammy, I don't do that anymore because it made me sick, but I'll come and test your house for you. And we found mold in our house. And Deborah, I didn't know anybody to go to tell us how to get that poison. See, mold releases spores, which carries poison, and you breathe that. It's not an allergy. And you breathe that toxin, that poison, and it's in your body. And some people can naturally get rid of it, and some people couldn't, and we couldn't. And I didn't know anybody to tell us, teach us how to do that. In the meantime, I had 8 mercury fillings. Well, duh, we knew that was toxic. Why do they put it in our mouth? That's not a why question that I can answer today. But I had to become a cellular detox specialist to save my family. And it took a lot of effort. My kids were elementary, middle school, and high school. We had to make significant diet changes. And yet, if that was the only thing we had done, we would not have gotten better, because we had to use a multi-therapeutic approach. We had to get rid of the toxin from the body, heal the body at the cellular level, get rid of the toxins in the environment. And we got better. Every single one of us recovered. And at that point, I could have said, okay, I've invested. I was working 3 jobs at the time and going back to school. And I was in my 40s. And I was like, if you had told me I was going to do that, I would have said, no, I'm too busy. I can't do that. But God empowers us when he calls us. And so I accomplished that. And I could have just taken it and said, okay, I'm done. My family's healed. But God called me to share. And so back then, 14 years ago, it was not a popular message. Nobody knew what cellular toxicity was, but that's the job God called me to, is to speak the truth about God designed your body to heal when we remove the interference and we give it what it needs. And it happens every single time.
It does. It does. I think, humans, we forget we've been around for a very long time.
Yes,
we have gone from just mushrooms, from witches, so to speak, even though that's not what they were. They were healers back then that knew what to take, what was naturally made from the earth, and how to use those things and to look into and say, what is causing the problem? What is it that we need to take? And I think it's important also for people to realize that you didn't break overnight. I was thinking with the mold, there's a lot of people who have mold in their home that it may take 5, 6, 7 years for their body finally to say enough's enough.
Yes.
So it may take one small step at a time, one little thing at a time, to help move the body along to healing itself, like you said, removing those roadblockers. And a lot of times I worry that people with 7, 8, 9 pharmaceutical medications, all they're doing is they're stacking on roadblockers.
They are, and they're interacting with each other. And I'm working with a client like that right now. And my feeling is, this is a stupid question, but how many medications does a healthy body need?
Yeah.
None, right? None. And
you should need none.
You should need none. And my clients, after they've worked with me a period of time, they're able to get off of their medications with their doctor's guidance and help. You have to do it correctly at the right time. But a healthy body doesn't need medications. We don't get sick because of a lack of medications in our diet.
No. No.
And we heal, Deborah. We heal faster than we got sick. That's the good news too.
Yes.
Recovery is faster.
Recovery is faster, and when we start to realize getting down to the very root of where do I start. So that is kind of the programs that you have available. Your website, beautifully put together, is Health for a Purpose, very easy to follow, but your website gives a person that ability to say, where do I start?
Right.
I want one day at a time, 1 week at a time. You've got, I think, a 7-week program to get a jump start, and it goes all the way to the academy that you offer for individuals. Tell us what people can expect to get as they go through coaching and the groups that you have and what's available.
Perfect. Thank you. I'll kind of go through the evolution. So when I started as a practitioner, I was only working with people one-on-one. I was working with very, very sick people who felt like they had been everywhere and done everything. They had been through the testing and the medications, and they were just getting worse and worse. Completely 170 million% committed to do whatever it takes to get better. And that's what I love doing still. I still do that. That's one-on-one. And yet at that level, I'm only reaching a very small percentage of the population. So the last couple of years, what we've done is we created our Forever Young Academy.health. And my passion there goes back to my grandmother who got Alzheimer's. And for myself, I'm willing to do whatever it takes not to be there. I want to retire to a cruise ship, not a nursing home. And so in our Forever Young Academy.health, people can take the journey of health with us at whatever level they want. If they just want to change their diet, we have 2 different courses for that. One is just Food by God for the Body by God. The other one is our 7-week stem cell program that teaches you fasting, feasting, diet variation, ketosis, all of the things that help your body to kill bad cells and then grow new stem cells to keep you forever young feeling. Then if someone wants to take the next step and get rid of toxins in your environment, see, if you really want to be healthy, you have to get rid of the toxins that you're eating and breathing every day. You are in complete control of that. You could, in theory, do it immediately. Where when we start looking at mold and co-infections and Lyme and mercury and lead, that's a lot more work. That takes a lot more time. So we start with foods and environment. And then if you want to take the next step, there's another course about how to promote healing in your gut, because the gut's the foundation of the body. You can do the whole academy and get all of those things, plus our monthly Q&A call. We have a monthly expert call. So that program is online. People can take it at their own pace. They can do as little or as much as they want. While they're in that process, if they choose to then get promoted, if you want to think of it that way, to a one-on-one custom program with us, then they've already spent time in laying the foundation that they can then build on. So that lets us reach people wherever they are. And those programs, we have clients all over the world for all of those programs.
Those programs are online. And even today, I find it really shocking when I talk to individuals about nutrition, and they may be diabetic and they're like, well, I don't have sugars, but yet I watch them pour Sweet and Low into their drink.
Chemical poison, or they're drinking diet sodas.
And when I try to explain to them, that is a neurotoxin, and that is something that is coating your intestines. You're having a problem with digestion. You're having problems with absorbing the vitamins, your multivitamin you take once a day. You can't lose weight. And it's these little things that your programs help people to go, oh, I didn't know this.
Right. Because
let me take that pink packet out of my diet.
Let me make a substitute, because Toxins are the #1 cause of cellular inflammation, which is the cause of diabetes. Diabetes is an autoimmune condition. Alzheimer's is diabetes of the brain. And those things are not caused by sugars, they're caused by toxins. And people simply don't know. Their doctors maybe don't know that. And remember the doctor's job, medication.
Medication,
So
quick.
we have
15 minutes.
Right.
What can we do in 15 minutes to send you on your way?
So that you don't have to change your lifestyle, dear patient. You can just pop a pill. That doesn't solve the problem. So if someone wants to step outside that box and take responsibility for themselves and do something that requires more effort, but will resolve the problem, that's where we come in.
Right. Beautiful, beautiful. And the fact that they can come in where they're ready and move through it with coaching.
Yes.
So getting back to the very basics of the body, the cell, where you go in and we hear a lot now about inflammation and what does inflammation do to our body. I understand inflammation as surgery has been done to replace a knee or something that causes pain. When you get rid of the inflammation, that allows healing. You take it down even deeper on that cellular toxicity. Can you explain what that really means?
Yes.
From the smallest particle to the biggest, to the body.
Great. Thanks for asking. When I first became a practitioner, I would, in a room full of 50 people, because the thing I love doing is teaching about health. That's why this is so much fun for me right here with you. Thank you for giving me that outlet. So I would ask people, who knows what cellular inflammation is? Nobody knew 14 years ago. Today, people know. But here's what inflammation is like. Inflammation in your body is oxidation. On your car, oxidation is visible. It is rust on your car. So when people start getting more and more symptoms and they're feeling older and they hurt and they can't hold a thought and maybe their gut's not working or their adrenals, they feel stressed all the time, their adrenals aren't working, or their symptom of inflammation maybe in their heart or their lungs or their immune system, that's really powerful. That inflammation at the cellular level causes dysfunction in the body. It makes the organs break down, just like the car, body parts would start breaking down. So that's what it looks like and feels like. Inflammation at the cellular level. Well, let's think about this. Which organs are made up of cells?
So all your organs,
all of them,
are made up of cells.
Yes, every organ, every tissue is made up of cells. So that's what it looks like. So let's go back the other direction. There are 3 things that cause cellular inflammation. #1, sugars, and grains turn to sugar in 4 seconds in your body. Diabetics are taught to eat whole grain breads that will raise your blood sugar faster than a can of soda. So sugars and grains. #2, bad fats, and the very popular fats that you'll get at health food stores or in the prepared food section of health food stores, they're using bad fats. And then #3 is toxins. Toxins are the #1 cause of cellular inflammation, and that is every building block of the whole body. So let's think then about which toxin, what are toxins? Because a lot, so we started this program, my daughter was so young and she grew up learning toxins. And one day I said, no, I'm not going to eat that because it's poison. And she said, it's what? I said, it's poison. She said, oh, that's not poison. I said, yeah. And it dawned on me. She had not made the connection.
Between the two.
Yeah. Toxins are poison. So poison, let's think about what those poisons are. 3 categories. #1, heavy metals. If you've ever had a vaccination, if you've ever had a mercury filling, or if your mother did, or her mother, then you've got mercury stored in your brain, even if you got that amalgam filling removed. Lead would be another one. Any of us born before about 1987 had lead in the environment. We grew up with lead, and that's carried for 4 generations. So mercury, lead, aluminum. We used to think aluminum was the primary cause of Alzheimer's. Then studies showed it was mercury, and now we know it's an autoimmune, it's inflammation in the brain. So #1, heavy metals. #2 would be biotoxins. Bio means living, like mold, Lyme, co-infections, H. pylori, long-term infections in the body, not acute, immediate, but chronic long-term. Lyme is diagnosed so much better now. We have accurate tests now that we didn't have 10 years ago. And so now we're more able to target our therapies when we know what the problem is. So metals, biotoxins, and third would be environmental. All those toxins in the environment. The average American woman is exposed to over 500 chemicals every day. Now we say women, the test was done on women. We tend to wear more stuff, you know, on our face and our hair and stuff than most men do. And so over 500 a day, over 200 of them proven to cause cancer. None of them tested together. So that's a lot of chemicals. And the average in umbilical cords today, they're finding hundreds of chemicals. There's one example. So I hope there are some young women listening to us today. There is a toxin in the feminine products that women use every month. There is one toxin in those common products that is only released naturally in the body during pregnancy. It's a toxin that's similar to Agent Orange, and it's released during pregnancy. So if people can take one thing, make one change today that you don't even, it requires no effort, buy organic feminine care products, organic, so that you don't get that. Is that shocking?
That is, it is. And we want to believe that the studies are done. They know this information. Why aren't the public finding out? But again, that's getting back to finding the specialists like yourself, who that's what you study, so that you do have that information on your website and things that's available for people to learn. Something so simple. Just
so
change.
Simple.
Yes.
Simple. How simple is that? And we share lots of information like that on social media. Those are things that we can say on social media these days. There's a lot of censorship. There's a lot of things we can't say, but we can make a difference. There are lots of things we can say.
Right. And then you get to the one-on-one meetings where you can get to learn more of those pieces of information. You also have a wonderful machine that you got a certification in, both your stem cell, something new on the horizon. There's different ways that a person can receive stem cells. My mother-in-law paid, and she actually had an injection coming from the umbilical cord. So when you said that about the testing of the umbilical cord, the chemicals, I thought, I guess they must go through this. Yours is a lot less invasive, and I think a wonderful thing for both athletes. And for people who have been dealing with a chronic, I don't want to get the surgery to my knee, but it's really been hurting for a long time. So it's a stem cell activator.
It is, exactly.
I think I referred it to the TRT.
Yes, it is.
What is that? What do you do with it?
And here's, if you're watching on the video, here's the machine right back here, but you can see it on our website also. And it's called tissue regeneration therapy. But when we say TRT, if someone Googles that, they're going to find testosterone replacement therapy. And this could do that, but we don't advertise that. And so what we call it was featured on the doctor's TV show, and they called it the stem cell machine because that's what it stimulates in the body. So what happens is the machine gets its power from light and sound. So think about how when there's lightning, it always causes thunder. So the light causes the sound. Second analogy, think about you're at church or a concert or something, and the music's really loud, and you can feel the music in your body. The force is the sound wave hitting you. So that's where the power comes from. The applicator is about the size of your fist. It's very soft. So let's say that I'm working on a shoulder. So I turn the machine on, and the pulses, there's about 3 pulses per second. It's not electrical, remember, it's power. It's just force. So the force, just like sound, just like the concert. So the force goes into the body as I'm rubbing it on the body. Where there's inflammation, it will hurt. Where there's no inflammation, it will not hurt. I had a pain in my neck, and my husband was working on it with the machine, and he just, I don't know why, came down to my shoulder. Oh my goodness, it hurt so bad. My shoulder never hurts in day-to-day life. The machine found inflammation in there, and we treated it 2 or 3 times. it resolved. My body healed itself so that I didn't have to suffer with shoulder pain every day. So when the force goes into the body, it finds the inflammation, and the force destroys the inflamed cell immediately. 80% of the time, people feel better immediately. And what's so much fun, Deborah, is to watch people stand up because their knee hurt, and we work on their knee, and they stand up and they're shocked. Like, oh, it really did work.
Yeah.
And one guy cried because he was so relieved. He was so happy to finally be out of pain. He ran up and down the stairs in the office. It was so exciting. So it immediately destroys inflamed cells. 85% of the time, people feel better immediately. But I'm not Jesus. And so they do typically need to come back for maybe 3 sessions or 6. It doesn't happen in one session. And so we repeat the treatment. What the body does when that power destroys an inflamed cell, the body sees that, you got rid of those cells. I need to make you some more cells. Your body makes its own stem cell machine, stem cells, which is how all healing in the body takes place every day, sends the stem cells directly to that area to replace those bad cells that we got rid of. It makes you new, younger, more healthy, effective, comfortable cells. That's why we call it the stem cell machine. The stem cell creation happens for 8 to 12 weeks after the session on the machine. You keep on making more and more stem cells. And we can do it anywhere in the body. We do have to take small steps at a time. I can't treat the whole body all at once because we're not that young. We don't make that many stem cells. We have to take it one step at a time. So that's the stem cell machine. And the reason we got that is because it still focuses on cellular inflammation, which is our foundation. The core therapy that we do is reduce the inflammation in the body. And yet you don't have to change your lifestyle. Many of these people have tried drugs and shots and pain reliever that didn't work or only worked temporarily. And maybe they don't even qualify for a surgery or they don't want it. And so it's inexpensive, it's fast, it's easy. They don't have to change anything. They just have to come in. The session takes maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Now we visit a minute. So, it's a 15-30-minute appointment, but that's why we got the stem cell machine to add. And that's locally here in Georgetown. I can't do that on somebody across the world, unfortunately.
Right. They have to physically come in to experience it. Yes. Well, I know just from the little bit that we did together, I have a long-term shoulder and neck issue. You found spots that I went, oh, that never bothers me.
Exactly.
That never bothers me, but the numbness in my fingers decreased. The range of motion improved. Yes. And it did. It made a difference and started in that healing in just in just the one session. It was and it was I wouldn't really call it painful. To me, when you really experience pain and when you have an injury, the fatigue and the change of life that happens chronic over a period of time from several days to several weeks while you're trying to heal, it was well worth going in and for 30 minutes getting to visit with you and getting the treatment and then going, okay, this is better. Schedule the next and then moving on, knowing that your body is healing itself.
Yes, exactly.
And taking care of itself. And especially with, again, a chronic pain or with athletes, because we're known to tolerate a lot of pain before we finally go.
Yeah. Okay. Let me give you an analogy. Can I say one more thing about that?
Yes, ma'am.
They do make a machine for animals. And in horse races, they will not let horses get a treatment within 3 days of a race because it gives them an unfair advantage. So that's just an example of how powerful it is for athletes. Many professional athlete teams own a machine and their players get treatments, every week they get treatments to keep them in top physical shape.
Right. Yeah, they get some wonderful things. That's one of the reasons why I became a therapist. Was a friend of mine was injured, and I watched the treatments that were given to her and to a couple of professional football players at the same time. Right. And it's amazing what's out there if people will move beyond just the medication. Yes. And research and find out what will work for them.
Take responsibility for themselves.
First and
look outside the
foremost.
box. Right.
That's right. That's right. We are responsible for ourselves first. That's kind of where we created Wilco Wellness, was to try and find clinicians like yourself and make it available for people to say, I want to take that step. Oh, here's a place to go that leads me to the person I want to find.
Right.
And take those steps.
I was so thrilled when I found your website because just personally, because we recently moved to Georgetown, and I found your website. You had advertised in the little Georgetown View magazine, and I thought, oh, they're advertising wellness. This is so exciting. And I ran to my computer literally, and I looked on there, and there's just this long list of natural healthcare practitioners, and I was so thrilled that someone had invested so much effort. And at that time, I didn't even know that you vet each practitioner that's on there. We have to be given permission to be on your page. And so I knew that this was not quackery. Someone had vetted all these people. They were professionals, respected in the community. All of them focused on true healing. And that for me is a priceless resource. Saves me so much time. And as a layperson researching, you could probably find articles online that said Hitler was wonderful and Mother Teresa was horrible. So it's really hard to find the truth online. And you went through that and did the work for us and put it together on your website. And that's powerful. I am so grateful to you for that.
Thank you. I am truly blessed because I had a couple of writers yesterday pop up and say, we don't even need to be paid. We love what you're doing. We love health. And as writers, we want to do the research and provide those links. Like you said, Hitler could be good. You want to provide those links that people can kind of click through to get the little bits of information. So when they're speaking with you, they can go back and go, oh, now this makes a little bit more sense. Or they have questions to ask you instead of walking in and just kind of going, I don't even really know where to start. But this hopefully is the package. So you have actually a presentation coming up September 15th.
Yes.
The Georgetown Chamber of Commerce, in which case you will make yourself available to, I love the flyer. It says, discover how to reverse the clock.
Yes.
You grabbed people right there.
Good.
Because it is possible. We don't have to retire and do nothing.
Exactly.
We want to retire and get out and actually enjoy life. Spend time with our grandkids, do traveling, all the different things. So you're going to be available to talk about the toxicities,
right?
To answer questions, and to help people understand maybe why they have brain fog,
right?
Why they're unable to have a child, if that's their question. Those types of things. Can you give us kind of a small idea when people pick up their tickets and they get there? What are some of the things you can answer?
Great
questions.
So in our presentation, which will be about an hour, we're going to be focusing on that first question I had when my kids started getting sick. Why? Why is this happening? So the title of this talk is Anti-Aging, because all of us want that. And so our focus is, how do toxins, first of all, what are toxins? And what do toxins do in the body when they accumulate over 4 generations in our bodies? What are toxins?
Crazy.
Yeah, 4 generations. We'll talk about that in the talk. And what do toxins do in the body? What is inflammation? What does cellular inflammation do in the body? How do I get rid of that? And how do I reverse the hands of time? What are some things that I can do? So in our talk, we'll share with people a few things that they can go make changes right now. We'll also give them some ideas of how they can move forward with us so that we can coach them. When I was in high school, there were 100 kids 1st through 12th grades. I'm going to let that sink in a second because most people haven't experienced that. There were 6 people in my class. There may be 40 in the whole high school. I was the tallest girl. So what do you think the coach wanted me to do?
Play basketball.
Yes, he wanted me to play basketball. I loved volleyball. I didn't want to play basketball. He believed in me more than I believed in myself. I lived on a ranch. There was I couldn't go someplace and practice. My dad he hung a basketball hoop in front of the barn. There was a slope and it was covered with rocks. So I could shoot. I couldn't, if it hit the ground, I would have, you couldn't predict it was going to hit a rock. That coach, not only did he teach me how to shoot a ball, he motivated me. And that is priceless. I did not ever become a star basketball player, but I was better than I ever could have been without him. So that is my inspiration as a coach, is for people to come alongside us and walk the journey of health with us. We have several ways that we offer community so that you're doing this with someone, not by yourself. That's encouraging and motivational.
Right.
So that's the purpose of our talk, to share the truth with people, the information. Why can I not have children? I have had 2 clients who, as a woman, it's funny when I can say I got someone pregnant, but it has happened because they started working with me and they had been doing IVF. They had spent tens of thousands, 20s of thousands of dollars. And we started focusing on cellular health, get rid of the toxins, give the body what it needs, and they get pregnant. Well, think about life-changing. That's a whole new definition of life-changing. So infertility, brain fog, ADD, chronic pain, diseases that just autoimmune, that just keep on piling up and up and up. They've gone to the doctor. Maybe he says their test is normal. We'll talk about that. Maybe they've taken medication. Maybe it helped at first and it doesn't help anymore. We'll talk about that during our talk. That's a lot to cram into 1 hour. So I'll be talking really fast.
Okay. But you can, so many variations of people that can come. I have friends whose husbands have Alzheimer's and not expecting their last 15, 20 years of life to be going the way it is. Right. So when you're talking about brain fog, brain toxicities, things that are going on with your individual that you love in your life, there's answers that you can give that can start with something very simple.
And prevention, prevention is so much easier. I just listened to a talk with a doctor who's running one of the tests that we use. And in his clinic, he's testing people in their 30s, and not every single one of them has an early marker for a dementia condition in their 30s. They don't have symptoms of it, but it's happening in their 30s. And we are seeing people in the hospital younger and younger and younger coming in with things they shouldn't be dealing with at that age. So well, this is wonderful. We are excited in getting the information out on your speaking event on the 15th. There's many ways to find you through Eventbrite, Stewart Seminars. There's the website, Health for a Purpose. Right. We have your Facebook. You've got a Facebook site, and you've, it's just, there's so many ways to get that. Yeah, so people can go to our website, Health for a Purpose, and they can find the links right there. Facebook, Instagram, video, YouTube, all of that. We have some of our talks are recorded on our website. So if someone who's listening to us, someone locally, shares this information, please share, because there are people out there looking. It's very hard for us to get the truth out. It's hard for me as a practitioner because it's shut down. So I hope that everyone who's listening to us today will share this information with someone who doesn't even live here. They can watch one of our talks on our website. They can listen to a recording that talks about our academy. We've got a video that talks about our STEMonomic eating program. So the website's a great source for information. It truly is. And even your Facebook site, you're on 2 or 3 times a week, sharing even small things on what one substitute for one thing could be for a substitute another, and trying to learn how to work their way through the grocery store, so to speak. Baby steps through that. Because most of us eat every day. So that's an area where I can make a big difference for someone.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. We're going to add all of the information on how people can find you at the inside of the blog that will
Okay.
follow up with this podcast.
Right.
And we look forward to seeing you on
Awesome.
September 15th. That's going
Thank
to be a
you.
really wonderful hour packed of information.
Yes, great.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Deborah. I appreciate you.
Thank you. It's so good to see you today.
Thanks.
And as always, you can check out wilcowellness.org for all your health and wellness needs in Central Texas. You guys have a great day. Enjoy. Share a smile.